Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Crowd Chatter Podcast. And today is going to be the AFC East. This is a video I've been trying to get to for a while here because I need to do the Jets, and because they have a game against the Cleveland Browns today for the Hall of Fame game. And I really have been trying to get all this done just so that I can get to that, so that I can have all these out ready for that game and have all these teams done. So let's get this started because I do have I'm going on vacation today, and I'm leaving in a few hours to go on vacation. I have yet to pack still. So let's get this going. Let's get this done. All right, here we go. We got the New York Jets on the road. We got Vegas at home. Then we got the Washington Commanders on the road. Miami back at home. The Jags in a London game. I believe that's a London game. Then we have the New York Giants at home, the New England Patriots on the road, Tampa at home, Cincinnati Bengals on the road. That was a brutal game. Denver Broncos at home, Jets at home, Eagles on the road, and you get a bye before you get another awesome game of the Kansas City Chiefs at home, or I'm sorry, on the road. Then you have the Dallas Cowboys, Chargers on the road, another really good game. Then you got the New England Patriots at home until you go back on the road to take on the Miami Dolphins for a second time. We all know how good the Bills are. We know how good this team is. We know this team is one of the best teams in the AFC with the Chiefs and the Bengals. I don't think there's really any question of that. The question really is which one of those three is going to come out of is going to be the best and end up coming out of the AFC. Of course, there's been a lot of rumors that the Bills will go ahead and get James Cook's other brother and Dalvin Cook, who is still a free agent crazily right now. Um, I doubt it, as they do have already both Damian Harris and Latavius Murray in that running room already. It'd be too many running backs for them to carry, too much to handle. Of course, Josh Allen's still the quarterback. In terms of the receiving core, you got, of course, Stephon Diggs. You got Gabe Davis still. Those are the two receivers. They'll remain the two receivers. At tight end, they did draft themselves Dalton Kincaid in the first round, so you'd have to think that's going to be the guy at tight end. Dawson Knox is still around, so he might do a little bit for this team. Then, of course, you got a solid enough offensive line. They also drafted Osiris Torrance on their offensive line, just showing it up a little bit. And then the defense has still got some really good players. You got Greg Russo, I think that's how you pronounce it. You got AJ Epinesa. You got Leonard Floyd. You got Ed Oliver, who's really good. Jordan Phillips is a solid player. Well, no. And then of course you look at the other players that they have. They still have Von Miller. They're gonna have Kyer Elam. I think he's a big young guy for them. Tre'Davious White, of course. Damar Hamlin is healthy, and that's really all people care about with him. Really awesome to see him actually playing, and after last year it is so cool to really see that. Jordan Poyer, you got Micah Hyde. A good overall defense, a very good offense. The Bills are, of course, a very good team. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that the Bills will go ahead and be a dangerous team. Just who's going to be the number one seed? They, of course, get to face both the Bengals and the KC Chiefs. They also get the Eagles out of the NFC, which is another nasty game. So a lot of really good games. The Jets twice, the Patriots twice, the Dolphins twice, a game against Dallas, a game against the Chargers. I mean, really, all these games are not easy ones. It should be a lot of fun to watch the Bills go at this year. A very dangerous team, a very talented team, and going to be very, very tough to beat. And now next, because I said I was going to go a little faster through these. So next we have the Miami Dolphins. This is another really dangerous team, but they actually have two really good and really they have a really rough start to the season, but they got a really fun game to start the year. One that should be fun to see. They'll get a road game to start the season against the LA Chargers. Really fun game that should be. That was a fun game last year. Should be fun again this year. Then they go on the road to take on the New England Patriots before they get the Broncos at home. Then they'll take on the Buffalo Bills on the road before getting the Giants at home, along with the Panthers. On the road against the Philadelphia Eagles, Philadelphia dangerous team. Then they'll be back at home against the New England Patriots, a Germany game, I believe. I think that New England game I was thinking about is also a Germany game then. A Germany game against the Kansas City Chiefs. That should be a lot of fun to watch. That should be a very good game for Germans. Don't really know if any of them care about football, but still be a good game nonetheless. Then they'll get their bye before they'll be back at home to take on the Vegas Raiders. Then they get the Jets and the Commanders both on the road. Then they get three straight home games against the Titans, Jets again, and the Dallas Cowboys before going on the road to take on the Ravens, and then back at home against the Buffalo Bills. Everybody knows that the Dolphins also have a nasty good team. Tua as the quarterback, of course. Their running room is a lot of different players, but really the main guys are Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, and then their new running back out of Texas A&M, Devon A-Chain, a really good running back as well. Um, Obviously, this team is led by not Mike McDonald, Mike McDaniel. Um, Very smart head coach. Obviously, he was the former offensive coordinator for the San Fran Niners. That's why probably Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson ended up in San Francisco and ended up in Miami. But both of those guys, he's a very good head coach, very smart guy. Of course, top two receivers, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, a very nice and very good 1-2 punch. Then you got the tight end room, of which I think their starting tight end is Tyler Croft. The offensive line is pretty darn good. They got Terran Armstead, they got Connor Williams, they got some solid linemen on there. Isaiah Wynn as well. And then on the defensive side of football, they have a lot of good players. Once again, you got Raekwon Davis, Christian Wilkins, Bradley Chubb, part of the trade last year, a really good pickup that was. Jalen Phillips, Channing Tindall. They did sign Eli Apple. I know nobody really likes that guy, but they also still have Xavier Howard. They have trying to find the other safety. I don't actually see him. Oh, they may have got rid of him. But they have Xavier Howard, who's a really, really good corner. They did have Jalen Ramsey, but he is going to be out for a while. Jalen Ramsey, uh, torn Achilles, I think, in training camp. So obviously not a good situation there. So that really sucks if you're Miami. Of course, they also drafted Cam Smith, Florida or South Carolina, in the second round. This is a team with a good defense, with some good players. They got a solid offense. They have a solid team. I don't think this is a title contender, but a uh, there's certainly a playoff contender, and they'll be a tough out in the playoffs. I don't think this is a team that's necessarily ready for like the big stage just yet. They need a couple more pieces, but Miami's got a really good team. And Miami is definitely going to be very tough to beat. And yeah, they have a really good roster. They have a really good team. So we'll have to see how it goes. But um, you better watch out for Miami because if you do underestimate them, they will make you pay. And there is no doubt in my mind that they will certainly make you pay. So coming up next, we go after the Dolphins. We have the New England Patriots as the next team. Uh, this team, let's just start with their schedule. We have the Philly Eagles at home, along with the Miami Dolphins. Then they will be on the road against both the New York Jets and the Dallas Cowboys. Back home against the New Orleans Saints. Then they will be on the road against the Vegas Raiders. That doesn't bring fond memories for New England fans. Home to the Buffalo Bills, at the Miami Dolphins, home to the Washington Commanders before they head out to, I'm pretty sure that's a Germany game, before they head out to Germany to take on the Indy Colts. Then they get their bye for the season. Back on the road to take on the New York Giants, home to the Los Angeles Chargers, at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then they'll be home to the Kansas City Chiefs, on the road against the Denver Broncos and Buffalo Bills, and then at home to finish the season against the Aaron Rodgers led New York Jets. So the New England Patriots, we go over their roster. Of course, they made several different additions and changes. So their running room is pretty much now just Ramondre Stevenson. There's not really much else in that running room. Of course, their starting quarterback is Mac Jones. They also, of course, have Bailey Zappi if they ever need him. And then receiving core, they got some nice guys in receiving core. They still have Devontae Parker. Of course, their big signing was Juju Smith-Schuster, as he is now in the receiving room. They also have Tyquan Thornton, a nice young guy that they drafted out of Baylor. So that's probably your top receivers there. Um, then in the tight end position, you have Mike Gesicki, of which they signed from the Miami Dolphins, bringing him in, as they'll have him next to Hunter Henry, so a nice 1-2 punch at tight end. Uh, and you got a solid offensive line, not too bad. Riley Reef joins the offensive line now, of course. That's an interesting one. The defense is what really this team makes a name on, as their defense is absolutely potent and probably will remain that way with guys like Matthew Judon, not Jelani Tavai. That's certainly not one of their big players. Of course, big time draftee Christian Gonzalez, Jalen Mills. Really, really good defensive players, and the Patriots just do such a great job of on defense, and it is very impressive, really, how they're continually able to just keep putting out there really good defense, and it's very impressive how they keep doing that. And I rather doubt their defense is going to be any worse this year. Um, I just New England. It's going to be all dependent on the offense. If the offense produces, I think the Patriots could have a really good season. If it doesn't, then they might be in a similar boat to last year, where they just continually struggled because their offense couldn't really get them anywhere. I mean, they might do a great job defensively, but your defense isn't gonna score you. Typically, your defense isn't going to score you enough points to win a game. You need your offense to at least do something. And as of right now, the Patriots just don't really have the offense capable of doing that. It might be better this year. Thus, why there's some hope in New England. They should be a solid team. This is also a pretty brutal division. This is what I would consider to probably be the best division in all of actually the NFL. But the Patriots, they're a solid team. I don't really know if they'll uh, have the greatest of records though, due to their brutal schedule. But up next, we have probably the team that nobody expected to be good this year until they made a bunch of changes and made the most unlikely trade that anyone would have been able to predict, and that was the trade for none other than Aaron Rodgers. Yep, they traded for Aaron Rodgers. the Aaron Rodgers era in Green Bay is over, but now the Jets actually have a quarterback. So we'll have to see what they do. Of course, everybody knows the defense of this team is disgusting. The offense is really the problem. But now that they have a quarterback, things might change. But we shall see. But the Aaron Rodgers era actually will sort of begin tonight as the Jets are playing the Browns in the Hall of Fame game. But his first regular season game is actually going to be against the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football uh, at home at MetLife Stadium. Then they will have the Dallas Cowboys on the road before they get the New England Patriots back at home, along with the Kansas City Chiefs for another Monday night game, I believe. Then they'll head on the road to take on the Denver Broncos, back at home against the Philly Eagles for, God, was that another Monday? Is that a Monday night game or is that a Sunday night game? I thought it was one of the two. And then they'll be on a bye, their bye for the season, before they will then head to MetLife, which is essentially, I mean, like I said with the Giants, this is essentially a neutral site game because they both play at MetLife. So neither team's really gained much of an advantage. So they play the Giants at MetLife. It's both of the teams' homes. It's the same thing, pretty much. But Giants at MetLife, then the LA Chargers at home, Vegas on the road, as well as the Buffalo Bills on the road. At home to the Miami Dolphins, Atlanta Falcons, and Houston Texans before heading on the road to take on the Miami Dolphins again. Then back at home to the Washington Commanders before finishing the season on the road against the Cleveland Browns and New England Patriots. Let's go over to the Jets roster. Everybody, of course, no, I say roster, I mean the starters. Everybody knows, of course, the big trade the Jets made. As I said, Aaron Rodgers, now officially a New York Jet. He is on the Jets team now. He'll obviously start likely over Zach. Well, no, he'll obviously start over Zach Wilson. The only reason Zach Wilson would start if Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Then in terms of the running game, Brees Hall obviously tore his ACL last year, but currently trying to work his way back and getting healthy. Michael Carter's also on the team, running back out of North Carolina. Travis Dye is also on the squad now, running back out of USC, transferred from Oregon. But you go to the receiving room, and obviously you know what they have in the receiving room. They have a lot of receivers, and they also actually have signed a lot of guys that Aaron Rodgers would have wanted, as they have Alan Lazard and they have Randall Cobb now as New York Jets. But they also still have Corey Davis as well as Garrett Wilson, so we'll see how those two do in the system. I don't think Davis will do well, but Garrett Wilson certainly should. Then the tight end room, you got C.J. Uzama, you got some solid tight ends in there. The offensive line is a little suspect, but Elijah Vera Tucker and Laken Tomlinson will try to keep things held together at the guard positions, while Dewan Brown and Mekhi Becton try to hold down the tackle spots with Tristan Cullen. I don't know if that's the actual starting center. I don't know who the starting center is for them. But they'll try to hold down the offensive line, as obviously Aaron Rodgers is not a mobile quarterback anymore. Then on the defensive end of the football, this team is absolutely insanely talented. You got Will McDonald, the new rookie this year of Iowa State, first round pick. You got Carl Lawson. You got Solomon Thomas. You have Quentin Jeffrey. You have Quentin Williams. You have Malik Hall. You have Al Woods. You have C.J. Mosley. You have Quincy Williams, you have Michael Carter, you have Ahmad Sauce Gardner. The list just goes on with the amount of talent there is on this Jet defense, and obviously Sauce Gardner was a big part of that defensive rookie of the year last year. Stole away from pretty much from Aiden Hutchinson, but I mean, considering how good he was. Aiden Hutchinson had a really good rookie season too, but you gotta give it to the guy. Um, but of course, the Jets, in terms of defense, they were the fourth best defense in the league in terms of yards allowed. Wow, actually, the Commanders were third. I did not realize they were that good defensively. Okay. But the Jets are a really good defensive team. Offensively was really where they struggled. They didn't really do much on the offensive end. The football is obviously their passing game. Really mightily as their passing game was probably their biggest issue, and then their running game really also suffered without having Brees Hall, who was having a phenomenal season before he got hurt. But the Jets are a really good team. I think they'll also be in the playoff mix. I don't think they'll win the division with how talented this division is, but I certainly think the New York Jets will get themselves a playoff spot. I think not only do they deserve it after being out for so long, I mean, Aaron Rodgers doesn't, but the Jets certainly do. Um, it's going to be fun to see the New York Jets actually play. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. The guy is also obviously very weird, but um, you know, it'll be fun to see the New York Jets actually be good. As well, they never are. So it'll be a lot of fun. I've never seen the Jets be good, so it'll be interesting. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. These are all coming out pretty much at the same time here, so these are gonna be a lot of videos coming at you. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a great season. Of course, we still got some college football videos. Football season is right around the corner, guys. I mean, it's technically starting today because you got the Hall of Fame game, but my goodness, it's right around the corner. I always say, summer might be coming to a close, and yeah, that sucks and all. But you know what also is going to be right there as well is probably the best sport in all of America, and that is American football. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, adios, everybody.